Greetings, Guru Nation. Happy August. August 1st is today. A little break in the heat wave. And also, it is my birthday month. Whoop, whoop. Yes. Your girl's having a birthday at the end of August. So, August is my month. So, what do I want to talk about? So first of all, I want to talk about today. I went to my brother's ISP meeting. That's the meeting that is held with his supports coordinator, his provider, and his family members. ISP stands for Individualized Support Plan, and that was scheduled for today. Now, normally I haven't attended, full disclosure, in a minute. Usually, so much is going on this time of year, and I don't get a chance to go. But I was free this time, and I had insisted upon being invited. I think there was some sort of glitch where I wasn't getting the information anyway, so I insisted upon being invited, and I went today, and I was glad I did. Now, Chuck is involved in what's called family life sharing. It's when a person lives with a family in a home, a host family, and that's the arrangement of his residential placement. So it's not a group home, it's not supported living, it's called life sharing. For anybody who might be interested in that, let me know and I'll explain it. I'll give a more in-depth explanation. But yeah, so I went to his ISP today. His host family was there. She was there, and a supports coordinator I met for the first time, and she was there. And his his employment specialist person was there. And it was a good meeting. Things are pretty much moving along swimmingly. Let me just say, one of the reasons I don't aggressively attend is because I have such a great relationship with the person whom he lives with. This relationship has been going on for 18 years, and I have utmost trust and faith in her. So that is one reason why I don't always attend. And I totally trust everything that she is doing with my brother, and I see him on a weekly basis, and she keeps me abreast on everything anyway. So, but brother and I are getting up there in age, and so I wanted to establish exactly some things, what would happen if at any time his host family would not be able to host him anymore. I wanted to go on record as saying that I I I am, when it comes to supporting someone with developmental disabilities, it's always about what will happen if anything happens to you. And you know we're at an age where I want to just talk about that. It's okay, guys. And so I just wanted it to be clear that if anything were to happen to his host family, that I wanted to say that I'm not sure I wanted him to do family living again. Um, it's I like the group home model, right? Because people come in and out of their lives. They don't go in and out of they don't go in and out of other people's lives. People come into their home and work with them, and then they go on about their life. In the family living model, they're with somebody, and then if that changes, then they have to move with somebody else. And so I told I just wanted to make that clear. If anything, if this changes, that Chuck would either come back home with me or he would do a group home living situation. Now, of course, moving back home with me would present the same problem. What if anything, quote unquote, happened to me? And, it would be that same setup. So when I mentioned group home situation, the person said, "Oh, group homes have a horrible reputation," and I get it. It is a well, I don't get it because it really depends on the provider and the due diligence of the family and due diligence of the supervisor in that nature. And so I mentioned, well, if he were in a group home, I'm not concerned about the quality of it because I would be on top of it. I would be making demands of what I wanted and what I didn't want. And then she replied back, well, it doesn't really work like that. And I said, well, I'm going to bring all that I know about the system. I'm a sports guru. And it's going to be like that. And she was like, well, yeah, you're right. Because some families, they do advocate strongly for their family. And I'm like, exactly. And I'm that person. I am the supports guru. I've been a supports guru. This maybe I didn't even tell you guys this story because it reminded me. It was about 18 years since he's been with her, but he did family living about 20 years ago. The provider came to me and said, we're going to move out the group home, and he's going to do family living. I was like, absolutely not. My mother did the residential placement she wanted, and that's what we want. And they were like, well, this is happening whether you want it to happen or not. And so I was like, well, okay. So they moved him in a family across town, far away from us. And the family moved, I don't even think it was a year. And they decided they were going to North Carolina. So they had to do an emergency placement. And this is when the current host family, he moved in with the current host family. That was devastating. That undercurrent of not knowing what's going on, the way he was treated with that first family, I was like, never again. But on the strength of the person who he's with, I have acquiesced to family living. But it was life sharing. I'm sorry, I keep calling it. Some places call it. There was family living. It's called life sharing. I was against life sharing, and I'm still not really sold on it because you're just placing him. If he's going to life share with his own real family. Life share with me. But, I like the stability of him having his own place and people coming in and out of his life. So, anywho, today I was saying, I was sharing that, how I felt. And she shared to me, how she didn't feel group homes were the best fit. And I said, well, any group home that he is in, I am going to be a strong advocate. And I will make certain demands. And that's when she was like, well, it doesn't work that way. I said, well, absolutely it does work that way. And she was like, well, it works that way for families who know how to advocate. And I was like, I am a support guru. I absolutely know how to advocate. And so, anyway, though, she did inform me she has no... And then one of the reasons I brought it up is because she informed me maybe 3 or 4 years ago she was thinking about moving to Virginia with her daughter, but that's not happening now. So... and she's in it for the long haul, so I'm grateful for that. But I just wanted it on the record, and I wanted it on the record that if anything were to happen, he's coming home with me or group home. So this is what August is starting off with, and so I'm working on a product. I'm working on a workbook for you guys, and hopefully I will drop by my birthday. So you can be one of those families. Right? Like she said, oh yeah, there are certain families who know how to get what they want. And I want every family that has a loved one with developmental disabilities to know how to get what they want. And so I'm working on that. Stay tuned.